Well done. Well done.
Thank you very much, ministers. I have the honor to request Minister Mbalula and Minister Buyamukama to sign the memorandum of understanding on transport-related matters. Ministers. Thank you very much, ministers. I have the honor to request Minister Didiza and Minister Odongo to sign the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the Field of Information and Communication Technologies. Ministers. I kindly request Minister Odongo to remain seated as I request Minister Ngwana Mashabane to come and sign the agreement in the fields of women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Ministers. Thank you very much, Minister Odongo. If you could remain seated, and this will be the last agreement signed. I request our Minister, Minister Pando, to join Minister Odongo to sign the agreement on cooperation in the field of correctional services and prisons. Ministers. Thank you very much, ministers. We have now come to the end of the signing ceremony. I now hand over to Mr. Magwenya, the presidential spokesperson. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, for witnessing the signing ceremony.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. We will now commence with a short media interaction. President Ramaphosa will kick us off with his opening remarks, to be followed by His Excellency President Museveni. Thereafter, we'll open the floor to questions, taking 3 questions from the South African side, as well as 3 questions from our guests from Uganda. Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. This is for us an important opportunity to receive you, Your Excellency, to South Africa after you were last here about 11 years ago. So we are truly delighted. And today I now understand why you wear a hat. I wish I also got into the habit of wearing a hat, because you seem to have brought the Ugandan sun right at the equator with you to South Africa, because it's burning hot. But we're still very happy and delighted with your presence here. The purpose of President Museveni's visit to us here was to review our bilateral relations and to see the extent to which those relations can be strengthened. We have noted significant progress in the implementation of agreements that we have had in the past, and as testament to our growing relations, we have just witnessed the signing of further agreements and memoranda of understanding. I had the opportunity in my discussions with His Excellency President Museveni to convey to him that South Africa remains keen on investing in Uganda, and particularly in a number of sectors, in banking, retail, telecommunications. We hope that Ugandan businesses will also find their way in investing in South Africa for the mutual benefit of our 2 countries. As we speak now, the business leaders from both South Africa and Uganda are involved in a business forum, which both of us will visit later and address as well. And we expressed our strong views that we should always find ways to resolve the issues that impede economic growth and development between our 2 countries. And we've agreed that our 2 trade ministers will need to be engaged to put in place a mechanism that will ensure matters such as the protection of investment in our respective countries. Our discussions have been expansive. They've covered quite a number of areas, particularly the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that needs to be implemented. It also covered the whole process of peacemaking on our continent, and to ensure that we do indeed get as many countries that are currently afflicted by war and strife to return to peaceful coexistence of their own countries. The Eastern DRC was covered, as was Ethiopia, and the efforts that we all have made to bring about the cessation of hostilities. And we have also looked at the peace process in other parts of our continent, and continue to pledge our solidarity with other parts of our continent like Western Sahara, that are still struggling to get to a peaceful situation. We also did talk about the issue of making sure that we have more and more of a multilateral dispensation in the world, and also decried the lack of a permanent representation by Africa in the UN Security Council, and continue to urge for the reform of that body. We congratulated President Museveni on Uganda's nomination as the incoming chair of the non-aligned movement. We believe that Uganda's chairing of the non-aligned movement will advance the interests of developing economies. In conclusion, the state visit that has been undertaken by President Museveni to our country has reinforced the firm political and economic relations between our two nations. By deepening these relations, we as South Africans have also taken time to thank the sacrifices that were made by Uganda in helping us achieve our own freedom. Uganda is one of those countries that was firmly in support of our struggle, and they made sacrifices by giving us resources, by giving us maximum support. And when we attained our freedom, it was as though Uganda itself had attained its own freedom. So we will continue to thank you, President Museveni, and the people of Uganda for the support that you've offered us. And through your visit here, we see ourselves deepening relations between us, and we aim also to better the lives of our people as we continue the struggle to overcome poverty, unemployment, and inequality in both our countries. And with those words, we want to express our great delight to have you here in our country together with your delegation. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Your Excellency, President Ramaphosa, for inviting me and my delegation to visit South Africa after some years. Now, the ANC was the first anti-colonial movement that the Africans created in 1912, after the continent had been taken over by the imperialists by 1900, except for Ethiopia. Now the ANC started in the tradition of Pan-Africanism. I don't know how much it was involved with the African Americans who were friendly, like W.B. Du Bois and others. I think they were also, if I remember well. Now later on, the ANC was joined by other movements in Africa, like the one of Ghana, of Nkrumah, like the one of Mwalimu Nyerere, TANU, and we who came later. We are all in the tradition of Pan-Africanism. Now, I'm glad. I normally call newspapermen in Uganda, I call them rumor mongers. I don't know whether you are fact mongers or rumor mongers here, but nevertheless, I will tell you what I think. The Pan-Africanism is a scientific concept. It's not an emotional one. It's not that we are all black, we are all what, we live on. No, it has got reasons. Reason number one, do you want to be prosperous or not? This, you need to answer it. If you say our people want to be prosperous, you say yes. If not, you say no. Let them remain poor. But if you say yes, I want the African people to be prosperous, then the next question is, how will they be prosperous? Because to be prosperous, you must have a good life, a good house, some income, good food, health. How will you get these? Can you get them by donations? If somebody says, don't worry, you sleep, I will donate things to you, and you will be prosperous. If you think that one is possible, you can go by that. But for us, with the student movement of the 1960s, who were followers of our elders, the two generations, the generation of 1912, I don't remember very well who were very active there. You need to educate us because these were mainly ANC. Then the generation of the 1940s, these are the Mandelas, the Mwalimu Nyereres, the Nkurumas, and we of the 1960s. So I regard myself as third generation, anti-colonial fighter. So our understanding of prosperity comes from two lines. Line one, education for all. And I want to congratulate ANC. I'm told that you are educating all these South Africans, giving them a modern education. In Uganda, they are trying, but the greed overcomes them. They go back to charge money for the poor people. Then I fight. So we are still fighting for, we call it UPE, Universal Primary Education, Universal Secondary Education. It's not fully implemented. So that's one line. You wake up people through education. But the second line is you produce goods and services and you sell them. Now, the moment you know that in order to be prosperous, one line is education, but the other line is producing a good or a service and selling it. Then the next question is, who will buy your good or your service? In Uganda, they thought they were believing in tribalism, in religious sectarianism, and we were laughing at them. So, but what you are believing in is a hoax. But they were believing that because they were asleep. They didn't know how to get prosperity. Now, when they woke up a bit and they started producing goods and services, they found that they needed the Uganda market, 44 million people. But soon they found that the Uganda market is not even enough. They needed the East African market, they needed the African market. So therefore, when we say, please, Pan-Africanism, issue number one is to deal with the issue of prosperity. Prosperity through the sale of goods and services to as many people as possible. That's how you become prosperous. The second question is, do you want security, strategic security, against all threats? Now, if you think Uganda can be secure alone, then you are deceiving yourself. That's why we, the Pan-Africanists, again tell you that if you want prosperity, Pan-Africanism. You want strategic security, again Pan-Africanism. That's how you can get it. But the third one is, by the way, why do you find it difficult to unite these Africans? Do you know they are all they're either similar or linked? Like if I go to the Zulus and I say, what do you call a woman? The Zulu will say, Mufazi, or something like that. Then I say, Mukazi. So, then if I say, what do you call a child? I think the Zulu will say Mwana or something like that. Mutwana. Then I say Mwana. Then in some of the Zimbabwe languages, I used to hear Mukono. Mukono meaning arm. The languages of Mugabe. So this was exactly. So the third question is, why do you find difficulty, you people who are similar or linked, getting together to deal with your prosperity and your strategic security? So when I was invited, I said, oh, very good. Let me go and again mention this to South Africans, including I don't know what, the press. In Uganda, I call them Rumamongers, but I don't know what you are. So this is my introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. We will now open the floor to questions, and we will start on the Ugandan side, and I believe it's a question in Kiswahili. I was hoping that one of my colleagues would be here to assist with the translation, but nonetheless, let's have a mic here in front, please. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Rais, nashukuru sana kunipa fursa, na swali langu ni moja kuhusu ushirikiano wa Afrika Kusini na Jamhuri ya Uganda katika masuala ya usalama, na ukiangalia kwamba Uganda inashiriki moja kwa moja kule mashariki mwa Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo kutuma vikosi vyake jeshi la ulinzi wa wananchi UPDF, lakini pia Afrika Kusini na vikosi vyake vya jeshi la wananchi wa Afrika Kusini SNDF kulinda amani huko Kongo. Una lipi la kusema? Ja pili ni kuhusu swala la...
One question.
Yes.
This is not democratic.
Asante. Wewe mnonga.
This man is not a Democrat, you see. Now he's asking me in Swahili that wewe Swahili umejifunza wapi? Wewe ni Muganda? Umetoka? Ukanda wa? Maziwa makuu wapi?
Nina familia huko Kasese na upande wa Kongo.
Wewe ni mtu wa Munande?
Wasinja.
Babuchire?
Wabuchire tata.
Wasinje?
Kale Wasinja.
Now, these are people who don't know where they belong. His tribe, there are 1 million of them in Uganda.
4 million in Congo.
Even the other girl is near there, the other minister. But in Congo, there are like, how many million in Congo?
4 million.
4 million. These are the group who stay around Beni.
Okay.
The town of Beni, North Kivu.
Not Kivu, but Beni.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's asking me in Swahili the security in Eastern Congo, because he knows that the South African army has got units there, and now we are operating there. We are working together. We are working together because initially they came in to deal with the M23 when it had taken over Goma. M23. But now the other issues remained, ADF and all, because there are so many problems there. It's not just M23, it is M23 plus. So we are now coming in as East Africa to handle it together with them. And even the UN, they are there also. But of course, near our border, we know that area much better. Like if you tell me a lie, I can tell you that that's how I was able to tell these people that that doesn't know whether he's a Congolese or a Ugandan. So we are going to work together and solve that problem. Unasemaje?
Kwa Kiswahili tuna wasikilizaji ukanda mzima wa Afrika Mashariki na
okay, kwa Kiswahili. Sasa huyu mheshimiwa jina lako nani?
Naitwa Nixon.
Nixon ni jina la kizungu.
Ya nyumbani Tembo.
Tembo.
Katembo kadogo.
Katembo. Sasa he wants me to say some few words in Swahili because of their listenership. Eastern Congo. Na huyu bwana Tembo amenuruzia juu ya ushirikiano wa majeshi ya Afrika ya Kusini na majeshi yetu ukanda wa mashariki wa Kongo. Hakuna shida, walikuja kwa sababu ya M23 wakasaidia, lakini shida za usalama zikabaki tele. Kuna ADF, kuna shida mengine sasa Afrika Mashariki kwa kubaliana na serikali ya Kongo ya Mheshimiwa Tshisekedi imebainia kwamba na sisi East Africa tujumlishe tusaidie watu wa amani. Sisi kwa sababu wao wanashiriki kwa kile vile mara wanakuja wanaweka mlipuko kwa Uganda. Wao ni wote. So all this is contradicting. The subject is something that the issues mean. I don't know how to together with government, Congress together. But it needs to know democracy. There is no demoralized.
Sorry. Oh, so I'm getting ready with the question.
President Museveni, the East training to focus power units, ESCOM was exporting electricity to Uganda. The African Valley supervise witness business to operate on a perspective. Do you risk discuss East training to Africa's feeding power units ESCOM? And the cooperation with the experts that ESCOM used to send was still misted Uganda when it comes to expected no risk are needed. Secondly, on EU pertaining to Pan-Africanism, the sea also must have very little frameworks in the understanding of South African administration going away. An administration, they let and pregnant organization the black and gold ANC. Do you believe the ANC is still a horse, particularly influencing government and Pan-Africanism? And then lastly, you speak very fluently on Zulu. Can you give us on African, the African part and leave with but on more civil, on returning to free treatment, you have fully implemented on disability on the Great Lakes. Did that filter through was the federal resolution, knowing very well that President Richard Kelly was still recently in country as well? Thank you.